Hi guys, got Wade here with me from Active Finance. So Active Finance, pretty bespoke mortgage broking business in Newcastle, been operating since around 2016. So I guess to start, Wade, can you tell the guys a little bit about your journey in the finance industry?
Happy to. It's been long and diverse, and I went the long way around, but originally studied at University Commerce Finance. First full-time job out in the property tax depreciation industry. I was business development manager for around 10, 11 years. But predominantly our client base at Active Finance is self-employed. We have a holistic solution for self-employed people.
Being that you've been in the space for a while, everyone loves talking about COVID, even though it was 4 years ago. How much change have you seen pre-COVID to post-COVID?
Speed and efficiency certainly developed post-COVID because it's that shock to the system. The banks realised they needed to keep writing loans, to stay in business, and a lot more doco sign. Even the old archaic lenders would come on board with signing documents electronically. The main things I see is the lending policy changes. Pre-COVID, during COVID, low rates, high borrowing power for most people. The policy now, because rates are so much higher, borrowing power is lower for most people, they loosen those policy requirements. So not only is it the speed and efficiencies of signing your docs, your loan docs, but your application docs, it's also the lenders adjusting to the market so they can continue to lend. People are still borrowing money and the banks are making record profits. So
that was surprising. I thought that potentially things were harder now, but it sounds like it's a little bit easier in some ways. What do you think the biggest challenge in your industry is at the moment?
It's borrowing power. Clients with higher rates, rental yields are lower, meeting clients' objectives when their borrowing power is lower because of those rates, and also the time-consuming nature of compliance. But to be compliant, we're doing right by the client. We may require more information. At the end of the day, it's ensuring that their applications are approved quickly, efficiently, and they remain compliant. And there's always opportunities in all those challenges.
What do you think the biggest challenge is for somebody that's completely green, never worked as a broker, they're entering the industry today?
Yeah, great question. Certainly, have to have resilience. It's a lot of learning. There's a lot of different policies between lenders, and when you're assisting or coming in, shadowing a broker, learning from them. Having the Cert 4 and the diploma, fantastic, but that real world experience is invaluable. It is a challenging industry, it's fast paced, settlements need to occur, clients need to be contacted. Typically having resilience, being confident in their approach, but problem solving is the biggest thing because every loan and its process is like a little project. So if someone coming in that's got good project management, can see things through the end, and then there's roadblocks and they can problem solve through those, fantastic.
Yeah, well, you've just given some great advice on, what to expect and what they need to be prepared for. But is there anywhere that you see as great training grounds for somebody?
Business development and sales.
Okay.
And on the back end of that, admin. So whether it's an admin assistant, but any related industry, so real estate, accounting, financial planning, any of those, great experience, or any sort of sales position where you get to get out and meet people, build rapport, network. They're the most fundamental skills to being a successful broker. If you can network, create relationships, it will help you succeed.
In terms of resources for new brokers or current brokers to stay up to date with legislation changes or, different policies or different laws that come into effect, are there other sources of information that people can, subscribe to or events they can attend where they can kind of keep up to date with changes?
Absolutely. The industry publications, The Advisor is a fantastic publication. There's a variety of them, but The Advisor hold events throughout the year. MFAA being the Mortgage Broker Association for our industry body, wealth of information, but typically as a broker you will be under an aggregator. So your aggregator who's connecting you to all the lenders, they're the source of truth, as they need to stay abreast of everything, and they will feed that out to all the brokers that are under their panel of influence, so to speak.
What's the current state of the nation in terms of the housing market and what interest rates are doing?
The housing market interest rates appears to be strong. Everyone's waiting on that decrease in rates. What will happen, we feel, is once the RBA reduces rates, the banks may follow suit with a full rate reduction. They would be crucified if they didn't. But we don't have a crystal ball, we don't know. People holding off to stay out of the market because they're waiting for prices to go down. I don't think history and recent times has shown that to be true. What will happen if rates do come off? People's borrowing power goes up, people are in the market to buy properties.
Basic supply and demand.
Supply and demand, house prices and property prices will go up.
What do you see as the bank's appetite towards your first home buyers or even people doing a refinance?
To quote the lenders, which they love to say, we assess each application on its merits. So some do this better than others.
Yep.
There's definitely appetite there, as we've seen, and as I've touched on, people are borrowing money, the banks are lending, and then the big four are making record profits. Like how challenging it is, the cost of living and everything we're going through as a nation, people are borrowing money somehow. It's happening.
Wade, thanks so much for joining us and sharing your knowledge.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.